the fakery and the performing and the doing what you think is going to make you look good or right, it just becomes so clear how exhausting all of that is this week. We have a new moon on Wednesday, so as we lead up to this new moon, it is a time to release and detox and really be still. Because this new moon, a lot of astrologers are saying how good it is and lucky it is. That's not exactly what I'm seeing. This is a moon where if you are planting seeds that are rooted in staying in a comfort zone, they just won't thrive. This moon is meant to push us out of these comfort zones that are really putting on these identities that actually aren't true. Now, we are meant to see where we are still acting like children and where we lack maturity. That's what this moon is supposed to show us, so that we can move into a self-sovereignty and no longer waste vital life force energy pretending to be something that we aren't or are no longer. Welcome to the Weekly Woo, everyone. This new moon we have coming in on Wednesday, it's coming off of that Mars-Uranus square, which I talked about extensively last week. There's been ruptures let's specifically talk about the self, because always with any sort of astrology or divination, we're working with the mechanisms of how we relate to the parts of ourselves. And that is what we see reflected in the world. So this Mars-Uranus square really showed us how uncomfortable we are with being uncomfortable. And it showed us what we do to soften that or medicate that or numb to that. It's a fact. Life is going to continually bring you things that aren't comfortable because you cannot grow in a comfort zone. This Mars-Uranus square put a lot of those in front of your path. And what this moon is going to show you is where your need for emotional validation and your need to unload your fear and discomfort on others will no longer land. It is to redirect you back into yourself so that you are no longer expecting other people to solve your problems, to help you feel better, or to carry your frustration and anger and blame. This moon is here to level you up so that you believe in your own strength, so that you trust yourself enough to begin building the structure for your dreams, for what you truly want. And you can't do that if you're faking. When I say faking, I'm specifically talking about maybe you're in a relationship and it's not working, but you are acting like it is because you don't want to deal with the discomfort of being alone or what it would mean to extract yourself from an entanglement. Codependency is really going to come up for all of us. Where are we dependent on something else for our emotional well-being? Where are we using anything outside of ourselves to emotionally regulate? It's really up in our faces. And it's really important that you understand it isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. If you can really lock into that idea, you are leaps ahead of the rest of the planet. This summer, I've said, if you've been watching these videos, June and July are really just a boot camp. Who you were going into the summer and who you are coming out of the summer, if all goes well, it's going to be a very different person, a more aligned person, a more truthful person, a more coherent person, a more aligned human being. And it really is about getting simple and going back to the basics so that the structure of whatever you're building now has such a clear foundation. So when we have this level of push for maturity and accountability and discipline, here's some things that you can start working with. The sun is an antidote to this energy. The colors yellow and gold is an antidote to this energy. Working with the herb of rosemary is an antidote to this energy. Drafting out budgets, schedules, outlines, spreadsheets are your friend right now. We have an alignment with the planet of action, Mars. It's gone into Virgo, and a lot of this full moon chart points to two planets, Mars and Pluto. Mars is where we take action, and because it's in the sign of Virgo, it's telling us, okay, simplify, right? Look at the action you're taking in your daily life, right? Because it's our habits that really truly create who we are over time. Mars is asking us to look at that. What are your habits? And where this correlates to what I said at the beginning is think about in your day, where are you numbing yourself to the discomfort that you're feeling? Because the discomfort is the message. The discomfort is going to direct you to take action, to change the circumstances so that you aren't playing roles that are false, so that you aren't in relationships that aren't truly aligned with you, so that you start engaging in activities and projects that are truly aligned with who you're wanting to be. Things are going to get deep. Not like they haven't been already, but by the end of this week, when this new moon comes up to really like poke and prod at where you aren't handling your emotions in a healthy way, it leads to, at the end of the week, some really potent opportunities to communicate about what you've discovered, to have those conversations in the relationships that may no longer be working, to really be honest with yourself about virtue signaling. Where are you compromising your truth because you want to seem good or right or on the right side? More and more as we move on after this solstice and after this new moon, you're going to be pushed to really ask, what do I believe? And we've had these retrogrades and these really potent lunations to inspire us to ask these questions, maybe in not such a intense way. But if you're avoiding those questions, it's going to get louder and louder and more uncomfortable until you actually start doing the inner work. So if you're in addictive cycles, they're not going to be working like they used to. If you're in a codependent relationship, it is going to be falling apart at the seams because it's not meant to hold that kind of dependency. I'm going to go over to Patreon right now, and we're going to talk about ways to work with this energy practically. If the focus to help us is this Mars in Virgo, to show us how we can structure our daily life, to help us move through this discomfort and into alignment, then there are things that you can be doing, right, that are more aligned. So habits that don't feed your emotional sovereignty and authenticity, it's a great time to let go of them. And it's a wonderful time to form new habits that support your honest emotional maturity. Patreon.com/thegoodwoo. That's where I'm going now. Please come join us. If you're watching on Instagram, we also have a subscriber section. They get 3 posts a week: Monday Motivation, Wednesday Wisdom, and a Q&A. Sometimes the Q&A are live and I let everybody see it. I think I'm going to be doing that once a month. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you see when new videos are coming up. And if you are interested in being put on the wait list for private sessions, you can email info@thegoodwoo.org and you'll automatically be put on that list. So I'm wishing you guys an incredible new moon. As we lead up to Wednesday, it could feel very dense and thick. It's heavy so that you're really clear about what you need to let go of. Be sure to hydrate. We have our sun popping off. These huge X flares really push on the places in our life that aren't working. That's the job of the light. And that's what we experience. You could have headaches and detox symptoms. So make sure you're taking care of your body and rest when you need to. See you all over on Patreon.